Hey, it's Pete, and welcome back to Question Christ. And today I wanted to go over a video that Agman just made about why creationism and intelligent design are so dangerous for America. Agman, first of all, I'm glad to see that you're feeling better and you're doing better. Um, Back to your fiery self again, which is great. The basic premise, I believe, Agman, of your video was that there's no way that intelligent design, and that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about. I know you're talking a little bit about creationism too, but intelligent design, there's no way that that can be taught in schools. The theory cannot be brought up in schools because it has not been thoroughly tested, thoroughly gone over, ripped apart by peer review articles, and finally given the stamp of approval by science. But the problem is that when it comes to talking about where we come from, the theory of evolution, people forget that most of the time we're talking about theories. Okay, now the theories have been tested, things have been gone over, but they continually, no pun intended, they continually evolve. You know, first you take the Lucy situation. You have that fossil that was found, the Lucy, and it was supposed to be, this is it. You know, we found the missing link of fossils when it comes to humanity, and everyone got so excited about it. And then came Ida, just recently, which totally eclipsed Lucy, and that was the end of it with Lucy. But up until that point, if you had questioned the situation about Lucy, about the fossil record with Lucy, oh, well, we're just ignorant, we're just, we hate science, the whole thing. So the gist of what I'm trying to get at is that the science that you are putting so much faith in is constantly changing and is constantly being revamped. So it's not like it's a destination that you get to. It's still moving, it's still changing. So the question I would have is, what is the problem if the science that you're putting your foundation on is so fluid? What is the problem with talking about another theory? Because the majority of what you're putting your faith in are theories that are constantly being discredited for new theories. If intelligent design is so hollow and the thought is so without merit, then there'll be no problem, because obviously it won't gain any traction, and there won't be much to talk about in the classrooms. I mean, my thing is, I'm very much about talking about what science is doing right now, but just the idea that there can be an intelligent designer, I don't think is threatening to science and to all our technology and our way of life the way you've been discussing it. Why are you so afraid of an idea? If it really has no merit, there's nothing to be afraid of. Because, no one's going to get a grant to build a plane. You use the idea of thermodynamics, and you want people who study this stuff. Well, science is all about exploring theories and hypothesis. And that's all I think a lot of intelligent designers want, is the idea, proponents want, is the idea that we can go down that road. Now, I personally think that God is always going to keep that faith gap that we need to have faith in Him. I don't think we're ever going to be able to prove God to the point that most skeptics would want proven. I believe there's enough evidence to point in the direction that it'd be almost silly not to believe in God. But when it comes to science, what is the problem with going down that road and investigating it? The other thing is, you have Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins is like the poster boy when it comes to skeptics everywhere. And I'm sure you're aware of what Richard Dawkins said in that movie Expelled with Ben Stein. And I'm sure right now you're probably pulling your hair out, almost looking like me, because I'm going to bring this up. But it is something that needs to be brought up. For those who haven't seen the movie, there's a movie called Expelled, talking about how, basically what I'm talking about, that most scientists that even think about going through looking at intelligent design, they are stopped in their tracks. basically what Agman said is that they won't even be given a chance by the regular scientific community. But this is what Richard Dawkins said with Ben Stein when they talked about where we came from. Ben Stein says this: well, how did it start? Talking about creation. Dawkins: nobody knows how it got started. We know the kind of event that it must have been. We know the sort of event that must have happened for the origin of life. Now, so far that sounds real concrete, right? Let's continue. Ben Stein: and what was that? Dawkins: it was the origin of the first self-replicating molecule. Ben Stein: right, and how did that happen? Dawkins: I told you, we don't know. Now there's other parts of the interview, but this is, they're just trying to get to the gist of it because it goes on for a while. Please watch it. I would play it, but I don't want to get DMCA'd, so just check it out when you have a chance. Ben Stein: what do you think is the possibility that intelligent design might turn out to be the answer to some issues in genetics or in Darwinian evolution? Now this is the most interesting part of this whole thing. Dawkins: well, it could come about in the following way. It could be that at some earlier time, somewhere in the universe, a civilization evolved, probably by some kind of Darwinian means, probably to a very high level of technology, and designed a form of life that they seeded onto perhaps this planet. Now that is a possibility, and an intriguing possibility. And I suppose it's possible that you might find evidence for that if you look at the details of biochemistry, molecular biology. You might find a signature of some sort of designer. Now that to me sounds like intelligent design. And I am sorry, but the idea that that hypothesis could be any more credible than the idea that there is a God who created all, who can make things so elaborate and complex and beautiful, and that there's signs of intelligent design. I think here it even states, Dawkins recognizes that there should be some signature of some sort of designer. I mean, what people love to bring up Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins sounds crazy here. What are you going to take more seriously? The idea that there's aliens flying around that might have made some kind of seed and they came to Earth and they planted the seeds? Or that there is a God who's all-powerful, all-present, who can make all things? I mean, seriously. This is the problem I have with some of the videos that I see like this, where it's like, how dare we even bring up? But the hypothesis that the famous Richard Dawkins comes up with is absolutely, totally out of control. Looney Tunes, according to you guys. You guys, the atheist community would if I said, hey, God came down. I mean, you have no proof of alien life. There is no proof of alien life. But it's okay to hypothesize this way. And you know what? I reserve the right. I think Dawkins has a right to talk about that kind of stuff. And if he wants to go down that road and try to look into that possibility, I wouldn't say that's bad science. Let him try. Just like we should allow intelligent designers to try. And not be shunned, and not be laughed at, and not be ridiculed. If there's nothing to it, there's nothing to it. An idea that you find hollow and empty, if it's really hollow and empty, there's nothing wrong with it, is there? But to even bring it up in the schools that there might be a possibility that people are researching intelligent design, I have no problem saying, hey, there's really not much evidence for it, but this is a theory that is being looked into, is gaining traction, and they're in the process of doing that. I find nothing wrong with that. And I don't think you should find anything wrong with that either. I mean, really, you think America, you think just because we whisper intelligent design into the classrooms that, all of a sudden the planes are going to be falling from the skies and no one's going to have Blackberries anymore. We're all going to go live in a cave. I mean, come on. Seriously? Are you that scared of an idea? So anyway, that's it. Hope you're doing well. And all questions and comments, I'm open for them. Thanks.